Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Gemini November 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Now, we're going to use a tarot deck known as the William Blake Tarot. William Blake was an Englishman who was born round about the mid-1700s and died round about 1820. Now, I think that his poetry is that of literary and poetic genius, putting him on in the same sort of a category as Shakespeare himself. And he also was very prolific in his artwork, which had as its subject matter the metaphysical, that is the life which is beyond this material life. And it shows up in the imagery that he provides in this artwork here, so much so that I might use my pen to point out if anything interesting comes up. So I think that you're going to find the cards very interesting yourself, and of course you're free to interpret the artwork in any way that you want, because this is very much an artistic deck. It's one which stimulates the artistic nature and the artistic impulse within you. So, oh, by the way, I've done a lot of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for many people from different countries over the world in the course of the last month over FaceTime and Skype. And if you might be interested in seeing what's involved in that, just check out the information that's in the description below. I've also done a number of healings as well, separately. That information is in the description. Now, healings are free. Readings, of course, I need to charge for. And when you get to the end of the video, have a look at the website that's linked in the description, my website, and that's got the fees involved in it. And there's a lot of interesting stuff there as well, I think you'll find. But anyway, let's get this beautiful deck to speak to you now and enliven that brilliant mind of yours. Shall we? Let's go. That's the first one. Two of music. Three of music, very different parts of the deck. Six of music, probably about time for you to buy a lottery ticket, I would say. Three of painting, and here we have the seven of poetry. Right, why don't you, as our usual practice, come and sit down here next to me. You and I can have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together, soak them up, while I do the reading for you. Right, I'm compelled to start with this number 7 that's down here. Let me have a look to see what's going on in this image. And let's have a look at the image. Now, I can see that the astrology of it is the planet of Mars, fiery, aggressive Mars in the sign of Leo, which is very energetic and very imaginative, a great performer, loves the limelight, and one who is capable of taking to the stage as you shall be. Now here, though, what we have is the figure of, what would I call it? I'd call it joy, the figure of joy, depicted as a statuesque young woman in flowing robes. And she's got the blush of life on her cheeks, and her expression is notably calm as she looks what I take to be death in the eye without flinching. Now boldly she strives towards him with her right foot. The right foot going forward is a signature of her spirituality. It's her spiritual foot. And her right hand is upon her heart, which emphasizes her sincerity. Joy is the fearless spirit of life. The figure of death, by contrast, is angry at her boldness, I would say, and towers over her menacingly. Now his left foot is forward, and his right hand points backward, and he threatens her with his arrow of destruction, which you can see up here. Now, even knowing that you may not be able to win, with boldness you can still tell the truth. Now, I think what this is talking about, particularly with Mars in Leo, is the need for tenacity, for consistency, for moving forward, and courage against opposition, of digging deep, even when feeling overpowered. I think that the vine of life, of which you are a part, it is going to fill you with eternity's strength. Now, although death, it has to be said, will be the eventual victor over us all, the life impulse and boldness that you represent and create will never die or be vanquished. I think this energy is urging you to face your fears and live heroically. I really do get the sense that this is a time to dig deep, balancing the ego, the heart, and your spiritual courage and confidence to break through the struggles and problems that life presents, because you are going to be victorious. The number 7 here, I have a mystical association of an area of divine emanation prior to the creation of the universe, which we mystics refer to as victory. Now, I think that this will allow the cosmic fire of your kundalini to burn away any limitations that block your inner strength, harness that energy and empower yourself to follow your true path with conviction. Move into higher ground and see the bigger picture, acting from on high and with courage and wisdom. I think that the lesson of this energy here is to have confidence to stand by your truth with integrity, courage, and honor, and in uncertain times, don't be influenced by what you hear or read or watch. Trust your intuition and your gut feeling at this time. Listen to your inner guidance and rise above surface illusions and limitations. But it does have to be said that conflict and confrontation does bring light to the struggling aspect of the self, which will allow healing and transformation to take place, and it'll give you strength. And I think that this is also asking that you reassess your beliefs and values as you stretch and grow. Is your heart and mind in agreement with your values as you stretch and grow? Know how to pick your battles. Think before you act. Stop and feel if what you are thinking about actually lines up with your heart. I think this wakens your inner truth, your life force, and your personal power, carrying you on to victory. But you do make steady growth, I think, because you do gather the strength, and it's not difficult for you to do that. Come on. You've got that mind, you can always work out things. What's going on in this image? This is called practice, apparently. Let's have a look. Well, on one view, here is the central figure of the artwork, I guess. And here is maybe two opposing or two parts of this central figure. This is an older man with a beard, which represents experience and wisdom. And this is is it a younger man? I can't really see. I need to get my glasses checked. It could be a woman, but a young man, I'll say, who's naked as well, and represents optimism and growth. Now, Mars is here again for you. Mars this time in also a very productive sense, because it's in the second decan of Capricorn. Now, Mars is about energy, assertion, and vitality. And Capricorn is about your ambition, practicality, and you making things tangible. Now, the good thing is that this fiery, aggressive planet of Mars is actually exalted in Capricorn, which means that Mars can really be at its best. It brings energy, determination, enthusiasm, and victory to you as well. You never see Mars take a backward step. This is very constructive for you. And combined with Capricorn, well, Capricorn's materialism, Well, it benefits from the energy and activity of Mars, so this here is signifying that when you invest time and effort into some work-related matter, however broadly you want to define that, is going to turn out favourably for you. Now, this is speaking to me of maybe some new area of work. You actually having satisfaction in your work and doing a good job, continued progression with things, productivity, maybe some teamwork involved and consulting with other people. These three guys could also be similar to the three gunas of Hinduism, which symbolize balance and harmony as well. But you'll also have a duty to yourself and have self-confidence. I think that this is talking about the full engagement of your energy in any situation where you feel yourself obliged to deal with it. The point is you are willing to take on even difficult tasks, and this sense of obligation is rising up from within. Your whole being is needed. Full engagement of all of your energy is necessary now. Now, this can also here represent mind, body, and spirit, and none of these three could be left out. Only through their combined and balanced use will you see visible results. I think that the heavens are beginning to open for you, and the clouds of uncertainty, which we see down here, they could repeatedly blur your clear vision of the goal, but your unshakable determination to move forward gives you the power to overcome temporary doubts. This is assuring your gradual progress. Now, incidentally, I mean, you've got magnificent things happening emotionally here, but let me just complete what's going on here, because I think that there is some situation that is going to demand your readiness to work steadily and methodically and engage yourself totally in it, because it's going to be worth it. And maybe ask yourself, in what areas do you still hold yourself back, and in which areas could you be more giving of your energies? Find out and remain conscious of what you want to set your full energies towards achieving. In fact, just write it down in one sentence on a piece of paper. And if you can do that, you know exactly what you're aiming for. You're going to have great ability to stick with things, and life is generally going to be in balance, and you are going to reap the rewards of a balanced life here. So raise your spinnaker, hoist the mainsail, let the wind fill it, because it's blue skies ahead and you are moving forward. Now we have the heavenly music bathing you with its delight. Here we have the two of music. Contraries, it says. Well, what am I to make of that? Let me have a think here. Well, the first thing I'll say is this, is that contraries are not opposites. Opposites wipe each other out. Rather, contraries are interactive parts of a whole. Much like that oriental concept of yin and yang, you know, that yin and yang symbol with the light and the dark? The opposite or negation of imagination is dullness. Mercy and justice are contraries, while the negation of mercy is cruelty. Now, I think here, just looking at this card, let me just have a look. I think what we see here is we have, would this be, I'm getting a little, well, let me just say, I will take this as being reason personified, the concept of reason, looking down from the clouds of matter and listening to the gentle vibrations of imagination's song. Now, in this card, this figure here is probably some poet or other that was around at the time of William Blake. And notice his right foot is forward here. So the right foot is forward. And his right hand is plucking the strings of a seashell lyre. And it's like a harp. And he represents the spiritual sentiments, and his long hair signifies freedom of expression. Now this moon white lily that's there, and the golden sunflower beside, well, they nod in agreement with the music, further affirming the idea of contraries. I think there's more to it than this, and I think that this is also talking about it's depicting the concepts of male and female symbols. The starry sky father in the clouds is interacting with the floral, the flowers, and the musical earth below. And their partnership creates the essential unity of life. They represent all contraries within yourself that need to recognize and respect each other, and also contraries with other people. Instead of having to make a choice, here there is a healing of differences. Now, the astrology for me is that of Venus in the first decan of Cancer. Well, this really is great for you because Venus is the most receptive of the signs. It's about love, beauty, creativity, socializing, friendships. It's also about money and business, did you know? And in Cancer, well, Cancer is the most receptive of the signs, and it is about nurturing, comfort, support, and healing. Actually, I always have the sense of Cancer as being like the womb, which can receive a fertilized egg and allow the child to grow within it. But here we have receptive love and happy relationships for you, and an emotional exchange. Look, do you know that if you love yourself, you are attractive to others? Your receptiveness towards yourself prepares you to give yourself totally to someone else. And I think a deep emotional exchange will be possible, a giving and receiving of overflowing love. The union occurs in complete harmony, as is symbolized by these archetypes coming together. Now, incidentally, male and female principles are within both genders, so nobody feel left out when it comes to that. They just express themselves in different ways, depending on the anatomy and the psychology of the person. But this here actually is an image of complete joy and silent ecstasy here. Do you know your readiness to receive love makes you attractive, so surrender to yourself, to others, to life. I certainly see the blossoming of a new relationship here. I see the deepening of a committed relationship. Now, you might ask yourself, with which people and in which surroundings can you now share your love? And pay attention to the love coming to you now. Remain open and let it enter in you and go deep inside. I think you're going to here have close friendships and partnerships. It's very good for people dealing with other people in business, particularly in the sales. There's good social relationships around here as well. And say this to yourself, look, this is the time when there is nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. I am now ready to let into my life the love relationships which will fulfill me. Now we turn to the next music card, which is seeing to be lots of music going on, and think, oh my goodness me, what's happening here? Well, let's look at this number 3 first and have a look to see what's going on. What can you see that? What's it say? It says exuberance, doesn't it? Well, it depicts an ascending, what would you call those things? They're seraphs. They are radiant. A seraph means a radiant or a burning one. It's the highest order of angels. And so this thing's flying up with many plumed wings, trumpeting a great musical riff or notes upwards into the heavens. And this represents the vitality and joy of life, and its upward movement suggests growth for you, and especially perhaps of spiritual awareness. Now, the seraph, did I mention it's the highest order of angel? This is giving the music, which is almost like in the old days, the music of the spheres, which was the rotating planets. Now, between two small birds are found on looping tendrils of some plant somewhere or other. And what this is saying, I think, is that nature cooperates with spirit, forming an exuberant chorus. Angel, birds, and horn all symbolize transcendent communication. I think the two birds independently signify friendship. So I think what is coming along here for you is celebration, good times and fulfillment. Happiness and joy are going to surround you. Now, this three here, this energy, is very healing and it brings well-being. It's a bonding energy that brings strong, supportive friendships and loving relationships. Now, with this energy, your heart is full, your life is happy, and your spirit is high. Mind, body, and spirit, as we saw over there, well, they are in harmony with one another. It's a good time to celebrate your accomplishments. Now, the key to this energy is appreciating and embracing your joy and good fortune. And this energy says, seize the moment and enjoy this precious time, because before you know it, it'll be another month and the moment will change like the cycles of the moon. Now, I think what's also happening here is that because it's come in, it brings success, completion to these things that you've been working on, so you overcome difficulties here. It also signals fertility, and maybe even a birth. I think you just feel good. It brings joy, happiness, and laughter. Now, if your heart is a bit low, and there's absolutely no reason why it should be, then this light-hearted energy reminds you that, well, as they say in the classics, laughter is the best medicine. So appreciate and enjoy your friends, sharing your joys, loves, and successes, and honoring theirs as well. This uplifting energy symbolizes a festive party of some or get-together with food, music, and merriment. Look, it's a wonderful time for you to be alive, I think, at the moment, so have some fun. Now, there's certainly some fun coming along in this way. Well, we call it fun, is what I'm getting at, this energy here with this pleasure card, as it's so called. Let's have a look. Well, the image is quite straightforward. I think it's a number of people clasping and dancing around there together. It's a circle. It's almost becoming one. It's people becoming one. This is the sun ruling the second decan of Scorpio, which is about the 3rd to the 12th of November. Now, we have a double sun here, because with the number 6, I have a mystical association with the sun as well. I also have a mystical association with Christ consciousness and Vishnu consciousness. And that can be thought of as the sustaining and preserving spiritual giving that keeps the universe, space, and time in existence. Now, a double sun, sun in Scorpio and a sun in the card, well, it reveals what Scorpio wants to hide. But I see pleasure, as it says here, indulgence, in particular sexual pleasure and excitement. Now, look, if you're by yourself, you can still engage in sexual pleasure. There's nothing wrong with that. There may well also be great family support here. But this pleasure is a kind of pleasure which is completely harmonized. Now, with Scorpio governing this energy here, I think pleasure is here planted in its most convenient soil, isn't it? This is a preeminently fertile energy that's here. There's pleasure in sexual relationships or sexual matters, and a rich exchange of sexual and heart energy and emotional renewal. This is an invitation to give yourself, well, let me pull this out here a bit so we can see what's going on. What was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. This is an opportunity to give yourself up to the richness of your own emotionality. Now, you may experience this as like a jump into water, as the tingling anticipation of diving deeply, of disappearing, of letting go, and rising to the surface. You are refreshed. This is the process of death and rebirth, which is Scorpio, of course. The result of taking the risk is deep emotional purification and renewal. Now, incidentally, this is saying to me also that you should be prepared to take risks. I should really mention that because that's coming through there as well. Now, it might be here also that, look, definitely the emphasis on this energy here is that on sexuality, but not uncontrolled sexuality. And there's pleasure here which is being experienced after what might seem to you to have been some hardship or have been some sort of a barren, dry period. And I think you have been undergoing a period of healing and transformation. The emphasis is on a relationship, or the desire to have a relationship that will improve both the individuals, where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So enjoy now also that which life has to give you. That is the best way to express your gratitude. Now, are you holding on to any old beliefs which prevent your enjoyment of pleasure? I can assure you that being itself, which is what I prefer to call God, because God's got something of a bad brand name these days in some respects, being itself has no moral issues with your love life or your exploration of physicality on this earth, provided, of course, that you're not taking any undue influence over anybody or doing things with children. Everyone knows that. But enjoy your own emotional wealth and share it with someone if you can. And say this to yourself: I am now open to a partner with whom I can share the joys of love on all levels. Well, that to me seems to be a particularly great month for you. Well done, you. Well, I told you that that was an interesting deck, didn't I? And I think you'll agree with me that it was. And what a wonderful month it's going to be for you. Don't you deserve it? Really, you do. Do you know what? I love doing your readings. I look forward to seeing you each month, and in particular, look forward to seeing the subscribers. You're very, very dear to my heart. Well, I guess unless I see you privately, then I'll see you again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.